subtle reminders are key. Jeez. Spoiler alert, the second act is tragic. And everyone that wants the worst.
Let's tip things off with Klitzer in the playground. Teases the opponent with a sequence of dance moves.
A beautiful evening in downtown. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. Take a look at the Grizzlies. Lurking in the basement of the conference for the time being. They're not pleased with their performance so far this season.
And for the Grizzlies, they've had such a disappointing season. Even when they've gotten a little bit of momentum, they haven't been able to keep it going.
No, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to everyone. The players, the coaches, the fans. I mean, there was the idea that they might struggle, but now reality is setting in.
Let's check out Toronto's starting lineup. Bogdanovich is out there with Wood. Then it's Mitchell Robinson. Then there's Doncic, and it's DiVincenzo in at the shooting guard. And for Memphis, Steven Adams is out there with Anthony. Then it's Curry. Then it's Thompson, and it's Ball in at the small forward position. Pass to Thompson. Puts it up. Robinson pulls it in. Toronto's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter.
And you look at the development of how Klay has attacked the rim over his career. What was once a weak spot for him has now become a strength as his finishing improves every year.
Now here's Ball. Back to Thompson. The three. It's hauled in by Wood.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
They get it back.
They're struggling here early. 1 for 5 now. The D has them bottled up so far.
And Curry, here we go. Here's Anthony. Good, and Curry gets the assist. You know what, Greg, you're right thinking back to Thompson. He had his early struggles at the rim.
And that's a distant memory for Klay now. I mean, he's dunking more often and with more force when he goes at the rim. It has made him an even more complete shooting guard.
That's just great touch. The teardrop, well, that's all about.
1:58 left to play here in the first. Back to Ball. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
Oh, that's a great pass by Thompson. You see the skill, the craft. He's adept at finding open guys.
In Toronto, they've gone 2 of 6 from the field. Doncic feeling it out. It's good. It's his second basket. He's shooting 2 for 4.
And the lack of effort to fight over the screen there makes that an easy shot.
We see this all too often. You have to be willing to put in the work.
Now here's Ball. Pass to Adams. Now here's Anthony. That one falls. His second basket of the game. He's now 2 for 3.
Yeah, just superb focus there from Melo, overpowering the D and still finishes.
Here's Doncic. The teardrop falls in. Doncic has got 6.
He's got the hot hand right now. As long as he can keep getting open, they've got to keep feeding him.
Now the pass to Ball. Some nice passing there by Memphis. He's off from 17 feet.
Oh, he found the open space from mid-range. Just maybe rushed his release a little bit.
DiVincenzo gets the bucket.
Look at the space he had on that one, though. There's an obvious speed mismatch between the two.
Ball against Bogdanovich. Thompson inside. Comes up empty down low. Toronto leading by 5. DiVincenzo passes to Doncic. Here's the 3. And no good that time. And we reached the end of the first quarter. Toronto. And hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. Halfway through the first half in this one. And guys, what's your take on Toronto so far?
What we saw in that first quarter, they won their matchups defensively.
Yeah, they really got after it. I mean, they made life extremely difficult for the shooters, which is why they hold this lead.
So on the floor for Toronto to start this second quarter, we've got Wood. He's out there with Robinson. Bogdanovich out there with Luka Doncic. And it's DiVincenzo in at the 2. And you see Clay back out on the court. Can't help but think of him going down with that torn ACL in the final.
And Clay showed exactly how tough a player he is. Stayed in to hit his free throws, asked to stay in the game, and became an instant legend even in that losing effort. How about the heart?
Here's Curry. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. He dishes it to Carmelo. Excellent D that time from Robinson. Toronto leading by 3. To the paint. Here's DiVincenzo. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. Well, the NBA is entertainment. You know, Chris, it also can have a very social impact in a positive ways. Guys like Kyle Korver have spoken out. The Jazz took action last season. Chris, how do you feel the league has responded to issues like discrimination?
Well, I think the league has done a wonderful job, better than any league. First of all, we acknowledge it. You don't just throw it under the rug and say there's no problem here. And that may be the toughest, to be able to acknowledge that. And then secondly, to make quick, sweeping decisions, I think has also been awesome too. But I don't think any league in the history of sports has had more players speak up for issues in society than ours. Let's go back to Bill Russell and others, the way that they started the game and came in. We have to love it, and I love the fact that the league is not scared of the narrative, and we work together. And by the way, that Kyle Korver article was so awesome. It was so vulnerable for him to write that. And when you have players like that, no matter what color, that are selfless to speak out to make society better, then it's not just good for the game, but it's great for all of us. So kudos to Kyle, the Jazz, and everyone doing all they can do to make things better for everyone.
Absolutely. Here's the lob to the hoop, and the dunk by Robinson.
And how about the vision there from Doncic? Can make the easy pass and also the difficult.
We've got 1:55 left in the first half. Thompson outside. A 3-ball. That one falls coming off Anthony's feet. Thompson's got 5 points now in the quarter.
The green light doesn't get any brighter than it is for Thompson. I mean, when the 3 is there for him, he'll take it.
Passes it to Bogdanovich. Oh, and here comes Curry all alone. Finished off the break. Curry's got his first basket.
Attacking in transition, the most consistent way to generate easy looks.
Yeah, you can tell they love to get out and run when the opportunity is there.
Now, here's Bogdanovich. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against San Antonio.
And not just the scoring, it was also how fierce he was on defense, grabbing 3 steals on the night as well.
DiVincenzo can't hit it.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
Adams, the pass to Ball. Thompson outside. Top of the key. The offensive rebound. Adams. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
Now, with all the intensity he plays with, boxing him out is a chore. A tough one.
Here's DiVincenzo. Just could not put it together in that loss to San Antonio. Here's Doncic. Makes the bucket. Now he's got 5 field goals, 5 for 8 in the game.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Now here's Anthony. His last outing, he had 24 points. 6 to shoot. Curry on the wing. And again, it's the Grizzlies from deep.
Well, it's all about the assist on that play. He puts it in the perfect spot.
And that'll do it for the first half.
Carmelo, first half in the books. What do you...
Thank you, David, and we'll be right back after halftime to start the third quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back. For the Grizzlies, the first quarter was pretty even. They did give up a couple baskets more than... And that wraps up the...
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge. You have to like what you're seeing from Luka Doncic.
You just love the patience in that first half. Waited until he got the look he wanted.
Yeah, working the ball, getting clean, quality looks. I mean, just efficient basketball through and through.
Anthony is out there with Lonzo Ball. And there's Klay Thompson. And then there's Steven Adams. And it's Curry in at the point. That's the lineup in the game for Memphis. And so it's Doncic with it. He brings it up for Toronto. They get to take on the Blazers at Portland after this one. That'll be the second of this two-game road trip.
Refusing to be tied down, Bogdanovich is fantastic at adjusting his body and shot when he gets in. Yeah, Kevin, the front office shakeup this summer for the Grizzlies. Now, the new leadership wants to take more of a long-term proactive approach.
And Thompson gets it to go.
Yeah, those are starting to add up, guys. Of their last 5 baskets, 3 have been triple.
Throws it up high. Robinson misses. And many fans in Memphis had hoped for a change. But, Chris, they still had some question marks with this new leadership.
Yeah, Kevin, that's because they're relatively young and unproven. Former lawyers rather than basketball minds. But we're seeing that league-wide, teams are going with former agents and lawyers in their front office. Well, last season, a tough one for Lonzo Ball. I mean, not only injuries, but the discovery that a trusted friend and manager of his shoe brand was stealing millions. That's a lot to deal with.
Here's DiVincenzo. He's got 6. Almost, but it rolls out. And with the injuries for Lonzo Ball, the Lakers wondering if his ankle troubles were linked to his shoes.
Oh, yeah, you know, he had to fall out with the brand, but who knows if that was a reason or not. I mean, but Lonzo, though, it seems, now taking more control of his career on and off the court.
Just over a minute and a half have passed here in the third quarter. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
Memphis shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game.
Yeah, and fairly decent a season ago, about 77% from the line.
Guys sometimes don't make it big when they first get on the scene. Late bloomers that have caught your eye right now in the league. Guys that have really picked up their game.
How about D'Angelo Russell?
Good one,
Let's
yeah.
talk about getting traded, having to move at a young age. That really could be devastating for some players. So for him to have the skill set and the mental frame of mind to fight over that, I love it. And how about Julius Randle? I mean, I didn't see it coming. I knew he was a beast, but he's a beast.
You mean he's a beast?
Yeah, something. Don't forget about this fella for a second. He is the definition of danger.
Not as good, and the Memphis leads cut down to 3 on the bucket from Doncic.
And already in his career, Doncic displays a remarkable amount of pro moves, including that floater right there.
And Adams with the slam.
Oh, and the lead gets bigger on a ridiculous offensive sequence.
That dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop. And Doncic gets it to go.
And I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders.
Doncic against Curry. 58 seconds left to play in the third. Ball, the pass to Anthony. That falls. Nice feed that time from Ball. Ball's got 4 assists in the game.
You can make the case this is Ball's best skill. A phenomenal passer in the pick and roll.
And the dunk by Doncic.
And some hang time on the rim. Puts a little cherry on the top of that slam.
Well, those kind of displays of strength can get one team rolling. on the wing, Thompson. 10 points for him. Curry finds Thompson. 6 on the shot clock. Adams controls the rebound and puts it back up and in. And the Grizzlies lead by 5.
More good work on the glass there. When it's all said and done, I think rebounding might tell the story in this game.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Doncic against Curry. From deep three-point range, doesn't go for him. The third quarter comes to a close. The Grizzlies. And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
And he's always been the favorite to bag this honor. These kind of feeds are his bread and butter.
Control the pace. Get it to the right guy at the right time. These requirements top the list if you're a good point guard.
Well, what a terrific game it's been so far, with this fourth quarter sure to bring more pressure-packed basketball. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the fourth quarter. So for Toronto right now, we've got Luka Doncic, Wood out there with Mitchell Robinson. Then there's Bogdanovich, and it's DiVincenzo in at the shooting guard position. Adams the pass to Ball. Anthony right side. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. And the first one at the line is good. And Anthony drops them both.
And they're doing a better job of working themselves to the line here in the second half.
Here's DiVincenzo. He's covered by Thompson. DiVincenzo can't hit it.
And that is a textbook example of how to defend your rim.
Well, that's why he's out there right now. In situations like this, he stands tall to prevent points.
Here's Doncic, and the dunk by Doncic.
Passes like that help develop team chemistry. Bogdanovich, I love the display of unselfishness.
Pass to Adams. Anthony in the corner. And the 3 off target. Toronto trails by 5. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Ball against Bogdanovich. It's deflected.
Solid shot blocker at his position. Boss Lynn allows him to make a difference on this.
Curry can't get it to go.
When the D forgets about him on the perimeter, they're playing with fire. Lucky they don't get burned here.
Here's DiVincenzo. He's covered by Thompson. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. First one falls for him. Both shots good from the stripe.
As confident as it gets at the line. He wants to be up there in the tight ball game.
Curry is inside. Guarded by Doncic. A shot by Thompson, and no one's around. Sinks it. What range from outside. Wow.
Not many guys more lethal on the catch and shoot. That's an easy bucket for Thompson.
Here's DiVincenzo. He's covered by Thompson. 6 to shoot. Here's DiVincenzo. The shot comes out. Now Memphis takes it the other way. Anthony left side. To the middle. Curry kicks the ball. Adams trying to free himself up. And Ball gets it to go on the assist by Curry.
And perimeter scoring, I have to imagine it was a topic of discussion at halftime.
But it had to be. These days, you need to stretch the floor somewhat to make everything else work.
That one's good, and the Grizzly lead is cut down now to just 7 on the bucket from Doncic. Ball with it. 55 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Anthony. The D by Bogdanovich. And here's Toronto.
This is a do-or-die possession. They have got to get points.
Oh, yeah, a little room for error now. We'll see what they run. Accepting more responsibility over time. Bogdanovich, I mean, you gotta love his willingness to take these shots.
And it's Anthony with the ball for the Grizzlies. Leading by 5. And he commits the intentional foul. And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second.
His quiet, easygoing nature, that's what Ball brings. That's what makes him so likable. He's someone his team loves to play for, and they generally respect.
And the second of 2 is good. That increases their lead to 6.
And not as productive a trip as you would like, but they're still in a pretty comfortable position.
Toronto calls timeout. They're trailing by 6. 40 seconds left in the game. Chance now to recognize our Jordan player of the game, Lonzo Ball.
And in terms of his shooting, this has been one of the more accurate performances you'll ever see. I mean, he's been in constant motion, creating a lot of good looks for himself. But still, even when you're wide open, you expect to miss some of the time. And that has not been the case here tonight. This guy has made everything.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 7-point lead.
Now, one thing I'll never forget about Thompson, I mean, that night he dropped 37 points in a single quarter. That shows you how explosive he can be.
Not enough ticks left on the clock to save him tonight.
Well, it's tough, man. When you get to this point in the game, you fought hard, did your best, but it just wasn't enough.
Here's Curry. And again, Memphis no good. They can score it here, but it won't mean much.
Kevin, turn out the lights. This party's over.
It might be. And here is Ball. So it's Memphis picking up the win. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were. All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining us.
And it's true that if you take time